Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Tuesday. Greetings and salutations. It's going up for the next, 3-ish hours here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com. And, of course, on our streaming video channels, WIBW News on Facebook and on YouTube at 580 Sports Talk. However, wherever, whenever you're tuning into the show today, thanks so much for being a part of the audience. We're glad to have you along here for 580 Sports Talk. My name is Dan Lucero. Brendan Gorzinski and Spencer Dupuis will be along a little bit later on in the show. I say 3-ish hours today because at some point in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to pass the baton to some high school basketball coverage here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. It's a Tuesday night hoops doubleheader in the Centennial League in the capital city. The Hayden Wildcats hosting the Topeka High Trojans. I'll be on site at the Butel Center at Hayden with all of the action. And we'll go live with the pregame around 5:45, 15 or so minutes prior to the girls' varsity game. And we'll have the boys' game to follow right here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. Should be a very good doubleheader. Both girls' teams are exceptional. Hayden and Topeka High, capable of playing at very high levels. And I think that will be a very competitive game tonight. Boys' game, two teams hungry for a Centennial League win. So lots on the line there. Again, yours truly will be on the call from Hayden tonight on the 580 Preps Tuesday Night Hoops doubleheader. So until we get there, we have a lot to talk about today. It's a very newsy Tuesday on 580 Sports Talk. Not typically the case. A lot of times you get slow news days, as they're known, in the biz. You probably haven't heard that term. That's a little bit of an inside baseball term, slow news day. That's what happens when there's not a lot of news. But today, there is news. There is Royals news. They're bringing in the fences at Kauffman Stadium, and they're lowering them too. It's a good day to be Jack Caglione. It's a good day to be Vinny Pasquantino. It's a good day to be Bobby Witt Jr. and to be Michael Garcia. I'm not sure it's as good a day to be like Carlos Estevez or Chris Bubich, maybe. But it's a good day for the offensive players on the Kansas City Royals because the fences are coming in at Kauffman Stadium. We'll talk more about that in case you missed that bit of news. J.J. Piccolo held a press conference earlier today discussing the decision to bring the fences not only in, but down. The fence height will be lowered from 10 feet to 8.5 feet because who doesn't love seeing a home run robbery? You see more of those, theoretically, if the fences are a little lower. But the intent of this move is not to create a pennant porch. Shout out to Charlie O'Finley. Shout out to you if you're old enough to remember the pennant porch in Kansas City at the old stadium, like the old stadium. If you remember the pennant porch at Municipal Stadium that Charlie O tried to put in when they were the Kansas City A's, if you're old enough to remember that, man, big shout out to you. Thanks for listening. But it's not a pennant porch that the Royals are putting in. They're just moving some things in some spots to try not to make the ballpark home run friendly, just maybe a little bit more home run friendly. Trying to make it play neutral is the end game on those moves. And we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show today. Also, big news from the NFL, Mike Tomlin stepping down as the head coach of the Steelers after last night's debacle in the wild card round. Saw he and his Steelers lose 30-6. Steelers have not won a playoff game since Bob Sutton decided that Justin Houston should drop into coverage on the most important third down of the game. And as a result, the Chiefs lost a game in which they did not give up a touchdown to Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. That was the last time that the Steelers won a playoff game. And after 19 seasons at the helm, Mike Tomlin today deciding to step down as the head coach of the Steelers. It's a good decision for all parties involved. So we'll get into that a little bit, the ramifications of that, and how attractive is that Steelers job, especially if that franchise is finally going to take its medicine and not pursue 10-7 and a first-round playoff loss for the first time in many, many years. That's the thing about it. They've had 3 coaches in my lifetime and probably the lifetime of many of you, considering when Chuck Noll took over. So they've had 3 coaches in a lot of our lifetimes. And in that span of time, other than the very end of the Noll years, they were never awful. And really, they weren't even at awful at the end of the Chuck Noll era either. They were just bad enough that it was obvious Chuck Noll needed to not be the coach there anymore. They went to Bill Cowher, and then they went to Mike Tomlin after the Cowher thing worked out really, really nicely for them. And the Mike Tomlin thing worked out really, really nicely for them because they did not have a losing season for 19 years. And that is awesome any way you slice it. But ask any Steeler fan. Something had to change. A lot of 40-degree days in Pittsburgh. I'll explain that analogy a little bit later on. We have plenty of football to get to. Round 1 of the playoffs, as I mentioned, in the books now after the Texans advanced with that 30-6 thumping they put on the Steelers in Pittsburgh last night. We're going to, when I say we, I really do mean the whole crew, and we're all together in the 4 o'clock hour. We are going to reseed the NFL playoffs if they let us do it. And you could take conference considerations out of the picture and just reseed the final 8 teams in the NFL 1 through 8 to make the best possible tournament and get the best possible championship game theoretically. How would you do it? We're going to reseed the NFL playoffs in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll also talk about the final 4 in the AFC, what they had that the Chiefs didn't. Because there's one obvious answer to that question, like really obvious answer to that question. But what else other than health did the Texans, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Broncos have that the Chiefs just didn't in 2025? We'll get into that a little bit here on the show. So there's some football to get to. We're also going to talk some college hoops. KU is very rarely a home underdog, but that is the case for them tonight as the second-ranked and undefeated Iowa State Cyclones come to town. We'll get a preview of that one, and we'll talk about it with our Jayhawk insider, Michael Swain of Fog.net, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Michael joins us every Tuesday on the show for Jayhawk Weekly, and we will get his perspective on the KU 1 and 2 start to Big 12 play. Also, the latest transfer portal happenings for the Jayhawks as well. Michael Swain joined us at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. All that, and we'll get to our usual Tuesday shenanigans, some random question Tuesday. We got What Is Wrong With You coming up. Lots of 580 Sports Talk headlines today as well. And your thoughts on the show are, of course, invited and encouraged. The text line is open, 785-272-9429. That is 785-272-9429. You can also interact if you are watching the show live on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. We stream every day live on YouTube from 3 to 6 Central Time. And if you're watching the show live on YouTube, there is a live chat feature. If you're signed into YouTube, pop in there, say hello, interact with your fellow listeners, grow the 580 Sports Talk community, and interact with your hosts as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet. Slam that subscribe button over at 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. And because 900 plus of you have done that, 580 Sports Talk Idol is coming up next week, a week from today, January 20th. Myself, Brendan, and Spencer, we are going to sing karaoke versions of songs you select for us. And speaking of which, it's another day to get in some song submissions. If you want to hear us sing a song, make your requests. It will go into the pot, and we'll all draw a song, and then the audience will pick a winner, if you can really describe one of us as having a winning singing voice. But there will be a winner selected. The losers, the two who do not win, will duet. So you can submit duet requests as well, and we'll pick that one out as well. So get your requests into the text line, 785-272-9429, or in the live chat on the YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. Hello to Mark, Paul, and Vance in already today. Look forward to hearing from more of you in the YouTube chat as we go along. I don't know that I was blown away by the performances of any of the AFC teams who won this past weekend in the playoffs. You're free to disagree, but last night it ended 30-6 in favor of the Texans. And if you just woke up and saw that score, you might think, holy cow, that was a total and complete beatdown, total and complete domination. The truth of the matter is that was very much a game into the fourth quarter because the Texans offense, particularly CJ Stroud, who was awful, insisted on making that a close fourth quarter game. It's not really a contest as to which losing quarterback or which winning quarterback this weekend played the worst. CJ Stroud tried very, very hard to give that game away. Lack of ball security, poor decision making, threw a interception inside the 10 at one point. That could have been a much more lopsided game because, as you heard from, well, yours truly here on the show, Steelers couldn't do anything on offense against that Texans defense. But Stroud was not good. And that's an offense that leaves a lot to be desired going into the next round. Obviously, the Bills, they've got Josh Allen, but they did not run the ball well against Jacksonville, and they cannot stop the run, which makes Jacksonville's inability to commit to the run all the more galling for them as they exit the playoffs with their loss at home to Buffalo. And the Patriots were in a four-quarter game with the Chargers, despite the Chargers being unable to do anything on offense. Drake May did not take very good care of the football in that game. And the other team that's left, the one team that didn't play, so could not hurt their own reputation by their absence, was the Denver Broncos, and nobody's impressed by the Denver Broncos. So you watch those four teams. There is a part of me that feels like a healthy Kansas City Chiefs team, a healthy Chiefs team, would be maybe not a substantial favorite, but they might be favored over all four of those teams if they were to play them this coming weekend. And by a healthy Chiefs team, I mean like Trent McDuffie and Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton and all the guys who got hurt and missed the final couple of games of the year where we watched the Chiefs play just abject football. And obviously, the quarterback, he's kind of important, Patrick Mahomes. But also the guys who were lost as the year went on, most notably in the case of this example, the offensive line. The injuries to Josh Simmons and to Jawan Taylor and to their primary backups were so harmful to what the Chiefs wanted to do on offense. So it's, I think, instructive to look at the four teams left in the AFC, other than the Bills, who are now opening the practice window for Ed Oliver. And that would be huge if he could come back for part of a playoff run for the Bills, because he is their best defensive lineman. But other than his injury and Michael Hecht, and I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The big defensive lineman who he missed games for, I think, a PED suspension. He came back for like 2 games, dominated the Chiefs. Like arguably was the best defensive player on the field for the Bills against the Chiefs. And they got hurt in that game. And I think it was a knee, but it was a leg injury that cost him the rest of the season. So the Bills have had some injuries, particularly on defense. They're a bit of a mash unit on that side of the ball. But other than the Bills defense, these four teams still alive in the AFC, largely pretty healthy. Largely going out there with all of their key pieces together. And that might be the biggest thing that separated the contenders in the AFC this year from the Chiefs. Is just the Chiefs dealt with a rash of injuries, the likes of which that they had not dealt with all season long. And obviously the biggest one came just as the Chiefs were about to be eliminated from the playoffs. So you can't say, well, if not for the Mahomes injury, they still would have been okay. But there were a lot of other things that were not favoring the Chiefs injury-wise as the season wound down. But other than that factor, what do these 4 AFC teams have that the Chiefs didn't? I think the most obvious thing when you watch the Texans is the pass rush. Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. The Texans can get home with 4 pass rushers in a way that the Chiefs could only dream of getting home with 4 pass rushers throughout the 2026 season. Getting home with 4 changes everything about how you can defend. It makes your secondary better, and that Texans secondary is already pretty darn good, truth be told. But that's the separator for the Texans. It allows them to defend in the way that they want to defend. They don't have to blitz. They can throw a bunch of different looks at quarterbacks that don't involve leaving a part of the field open because you've had to send a 5th or a 6th rusher from depth. That's the thing that the Texans have that the Chiefs do not. What the Patriots have that the Chiefs do not, I would say would be twofold, and it's on offense. A capable running game and a downfield passing game with a number 1 wide receiver. Chiefs didn't really have either of those things in 2025. Obviously, they did not have a workable running game where, look, Travion Henderson is a nice player, and Ramondre Stevenson, when he's not fumbling, is a nice player. Those aren't superstars. But are they better than Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt? Yeah, by some distance. So you had a workable running game with some big play potential, with some receiving potential out of the backfield. That made the offense for the Patriots functional. And then when they needed to go downfield, they had a guy in Stephon Diggs who maybe didn't produce like he did in his prime, but he's still a guy that when you go up against the Patriots, you know you're going to have to account for him and his presence and his where he's at on the field and the things that he can do. And Drake May's ability to push the ball down the field helped open things up for that entire Patriots offense. Their offense was functional in a way the Chiefs' offense never got to functional in 2025. When I think about the Broncos and the Bills, though, who play each other, they're going to be the first game. By the way, in case you missed order of operations for this coming weekend, they announced that after the Steelers-Texans game went final. The first game Saturday is going to be Bills-Broncos. Then Seahawks 49ers in prime time. On Sunday, it'll be Texans Patriots, the early game, and the late game will be Rams Bears in Chicago. But that first game between the Bills and the Broncos, I watched a lot of those two teams this year. Obviously, they were a Chiefs opponent, so we saw them play against the Chiefs. Broncos, by the way, 1-point favorites right now, according to our friends at Prairie Band Sportsbook up in Mayetta. Honestly, that feels about right to me. The separator for those teams this year really just felt like they found ways to win games where the Chiefs didn't. They found ways to make the play, force the turnover, get the stop, make the drive in a way that the Chiefs did not. Now, is close game success a repeatable skill? Ask the Chiefs because they went from 11-0 to 1-10 in one-score games this year. So is it repeatable? Not 100%. It's not straight correlation year after year down the line. But the Broncos were really good in close games. They had a lot of comebacks. They had a lot of last-second wins, including one against the Chiefs this past year. The Bills, in a bit of a different fashion, felt like the team that when things weren't going their way, they'd find a way to flip the switch. Like that big comeback they had against New England, or the comeback they had against Cincinnati, where they were down pretty big and they found a way to win that game. I don't know that man for man, there's a huge gulf between those teams and a healthy Chiefs team. I don't. Where I think the difference lie this past year was performance in close games. Simple as that. And some of that is the close games the Chiefs were playing in were against a first-place schedule, and the close games the Broncos, for instance, were playing in were against teams like the Giants or teams like the Texans, but Davis Mills was playing quarterback. And I think that made probably a little bit of a difference there. So, to me, I watch these 4 AFC teams, and it does not feel to me that the Chiefs are eons or light years behind. As unpleasant as they were to watch at times, that feels to me more like a scheme thing and the kind of thing you can polish up in the offseason. And as abject as they were in the final games, really all of that was due to injury. A healthy, loaded for bear Kansas City Chiefs team, I still think stacks up really well with the teams that are remaining in the AFC. So the idea, I think what I saw from those teams, to put a bow on this, what I saw from the 4 teams in the AFC did not suggest to me that we are now in a new era, and these are the new faces of the contention in the AFC. That is not what I see. I see some good football teams. I think we're going to get 2 good AFC games on the weekend. But I did not see teams that were so good or so far beyond a healthy Chiefs roster that I feel comfortable saying, oh, yes, the torch has been physically ripped out of the hands of the Chiefs. Somebody else is going to be carrying it next year, but I don't think the Chiefs are far away from getting it back. We're taking time out here on 580 Sports Talk. We're going to talk about the Royals making changes to the dimensions at Kauffman Stadium. We're going to talk more NFL playoffs. We're going to reseed the field. We're going to talk about Mike Tomlin stepping down in Pittsburgh. We're going to talk KU basketball. We'll talk all things Jayhawks. Michael Swain at 4:35. We are jam-packed on this edition of 580 Sports Talk, and glad you're here with us this afternoon on 580 WIBW. 3:32 on 580 Sports Talk. Dan Lucero with you, just getting started on this Tuesday. A reminder, Tuesday night hoops tonight here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. Doubleheader from the Centennial League as Hayden hosts Topeka High. Be our first look at the Trojans this season. We got a chance to see the Wildcats in action right out of the holiday break back on January 2nd at Shawnee Heights. This will be our first trip to the Butel Center this season for some Wildcat hoops. I'll be on the call pregame approximately 5:45 ahead of the girls contest and the boys game to follow. Hope you'll join me for that. Big news from the NFL world today. Mike Tomlin announcing he is stepping down after 19 years at the helm of the Pittsburgh Steelers. How many of y'all have seen the TV show The Wire? I think that is the greatest show in the history of television. The Wire. It was on HBO. It's probably about 20, 25 years old now. I think about 25 years old. Launched the careers of a lot of actors that you've heard of. Like Michael B. Jordan was just a kid. He was in that show. Wood Harris, Idris Elba. Incredible cast. David Simon wrote it about life in Baltimore on the side of the police, on the side of the drug dealers, the drug addicts, the dock workers, just a portrait of a city. Incredible show. I can't recommend it highly enough. I think it still holds up because I watched it in full for the first time like 15 years ago, and then I rewatched it a few years later. Great television. Can't recommend it more highly. Anyway, why are you talking about a 25-year-old TV show, Dan? Well, there's a scene in the show in which Stringer Bell, who's leader of I'm trying to oversimplify this for the sake of time, but Stringer Bell oversees the drug dealing operation. And his character played by Idris Elba, who's an actor of renown, probably a name you've heard. Anyway, it's been a little slow in the drug trade. And he is giving a speech to his lieutenants, his top drug dealers, explaining to them that he is tired of what he describes as 40-degree days. The 40-degree days, they're not too cold. They're not too warm. They're just kind of forgettable. And, well, you'd rather have a really good day, or if you have a bad day, at least you know you have a bad day. You can fix what went wrong, and then you can have more good days. You have a good day, obviously, you love having a good day. But Stringer Bell, the crux of his speech, and due to its language content, I can't play it or quote it in full. But just know that Stringer Bell was tired of 40-degree days. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the better part of a decade, have been nothing but 40-degree days under Mike Tomlin. Nothing wrong with a 40-degree day. Better than freezing, right? Hey, you can do a lot worse than a 40-degree day. Get you a light jacket. Maybe that's too harsh on a coach who never had a losing season in 19 years to say that his tenure had become a stretch of 40-degree days. But that's kind of what it was, because they weren't winning in the playoffs. Again, their last playoff win, you have to go back to was that the 15 season? When 15 or the 16 season? I think it was 16 season. And they had not won a playoff game since then. Tomlin only had 3 playoff wins since getting to his second Super Bowl as a head coach. And while the Steelers still mixed in at the top of the AFC North and still made the playoffs fairly routinely, and again, never had a losing season, it has been a long time since we have taken them real seriously as an AFC contender, as a team who felt like a real Super Bowl threat. Because we knew what it was going to be in the playoffs. It was going to be a 40-degree day. And I think the Steelers would be well served to try and do something else, because there was another franchise not long ago who was going through a stretch of 40-degree days with their Hall of Fame head coach, and that was the Seattle Seahawks. After Pete Carroll went to a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls in a row, won one, lost another, they only won 3 playoff games the rest of Carroll's tenure. Now, were the Seahawks ever bad? No. They only missed playoffs, I think, 1 time, maybe twice under Carroll. They were always in the mix, always good for about 10 wins. They had an identity. They made the playoffs. They were good TV. But you got to January and they were never a threat. They were not a serious threat the way that they had been. And so the time came in Seattle where they just said, look, we're tired of 40-degree days. And I think that's where they've arrived in Pittsburgh as well. No more 40-degree days. Be willing to suffer through some below freezing temperatures. Be willing to go 4-13 for a year if that means you can find your next franchise quarterback. Because the years after Ben Roethlisberger's prime, and that includes the end stages of Ben Roethlisberger's career, have been really especially ugly in Pittsburgh. They got to go find their next guy, their next Big Ben. Hopefully one who's less of a sex creep than the actual Big Ben. That would be nice. But they got to go find their next Big Ben. They got to reset. They got to figure out what the next era of Steelers football looks like. It doesn't have to look that different. They can still be renegade by sticks in the fourth quarter and the terrible towels and running the ball, playing good defense and winning outdoor games in December. They can still be all those things. The problem was there was a lid on it that keeping Mike Tomlin as head coach seemed to put on top of that franchise. For Tomlin's part, sounds like he's done with coaching at least for a little bit, for the short term. All the reporting suggests he's thinking television as his next move. He's going to be great on TV as long as he wants to do that. And I don't blame him. 19 years, no losing seasons, 2 AFC titles and a Super Bowl ring. Next stop, Canton for Mike Tomlin. That's a Hall of Fame resume. If he never does this again, it's a Hall of Fame resume. But the time is right. Time was right for him. Time is right for the Steelers. Yes, it would be very funny if the Steelers hired John Harbaugh. I don't think that's going to happen. You know, the name that I would think would be most interesting for the Steelers, and I know he's gotten some NFL interest and previously shut it down, but I think maybe this would be a job that might excite him. Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman. Just throwing that out there. Just seeing how Steelers head coach Marcus Freeman comes off the tongue. We'll take a timeout. We're going to hard pivot to baseball because the Royals made news today, and somewhere Jack Caglione is smiling bright. We'll talk about the fences coming in at the K next on 580 Sports Talk. Not often that the Royals make news on January 13th. At least not the kind of news that makes the A block of or the top first hour of 580 Sports Talk. But the boys in blue did make some news today because the fences are coming in for the final 5 years of play at Kauffman Stadium. Yeah, the Royals are out of there after the 2030 season. So for the final 5 years of baseball at the K, things are going to look a little bit different. To give you an idea, the present dimensions of Kauffman Stadium, they're just a little bit off kilter. They're not all the way symmetric. It's 410 feet to straight center, 405 to deep left and right center, 389 to the power alleys, 373 to where the bullpens end in the alley, 353 to right where the corner starts to bend in, 356 to left where the corner is, and then 330 to the foul poles. Just about symmetrical. And the fences are 10 feet high all the way around. That is going to change based upon data analysis. The Royals have decided to move the fences in and bring them down. The fences will now be 8.5 feet tall. So instead of what had been 389 feet to the power alleys, it will now be 379 feet to the power alleys. It'll be 364 feet to the point in the outfield where the bullpens end instead of 373 feet. And the point at which the curve starts to come in the corners, it'll be 347 to left and 344 to right. The corners will remain the same. Center field will remain the same. That's critically important because batters love the batter's eye at Kauffman Stadium. Like the visibility of the green wall and how it's all set up out there. They really love how easy it makes it to pick up the baseball. They feel like they could see it really well. So the batter's eye unchanged. But the fences are coming in a little bit. And the idea is not to make Kauffman Stadium a home run hitter's paradise. It is rather to bring it more in line with league average. An interesting fact about Kauffman Stadium, and Vance speaks to this in the YouTube comments. Again, our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. Vance says, fans coming into the K, it's always been a pitcher's ballpark. That's a bit of a misconception. It has been pitcher-friendly in the sense that it suppresses home runs. It has not historically been a good home run ballpark. But singles, doubles, and triples, you get more of those at Kauffman Stadium. Why do you get more of those at Kauffman Stadium typically? Because Kauffman Stadium has the second largest playing surface in Major League Baseball, behind only Coors Field, which we know to be extremely hitter-friendly. But Coors Field is not hitter-friendly just because the ball flies out of the ballpark with altitude. Coors Field is hitter-friendly because there's more room for the ball to fall in for singles and doubles and triples. And for Kauffman Stadium, that's been the case for a really long time. It has been hitter-friendly in that way. The problem that the Royals believe exists, this is, whether this is an actual problem or not, I don't know. Only the players can speak to this. But the Royals have been concerned over the years that the fact that the ball does not leave the yard at Kauffman Stadium causes hitters to change their approaches, try to change their swings. They get out of whack when they go on the road and they hit for some power and then they come back home and a ball they would hit would be a home run in some parks, dies at the warning track at the K, and then they think they got to change their swing, change their approach. And J.J. Piccolo, in some quotes today, said that's something we've seen over and over again through the years. And it does make you wonder how that has affected the approaches of some of the power-minded young hitters that the Royals have brought to the major leagues in recent years, but have not had success. I'm talking about Nick Pratto. I'm talking about MJ Melendez specifically. And now the Royals' two best offensive prospects who project to be a big part of the lineup in 2026 are Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen, and those are boppers. Those are power guys. Those are guys you're trying to get 25, 30 home runs from. Well, if you play in a ballpark that, one, suppresses that power, but two, could have a psychological effect on how those players approach their at-bats, approach their swing, it would be, let's put it this way, it would be cataclysmic for the Royals and their future if Jack Caglione's trajectory looked like MJ Melendez's trajectory. Now, I think he's a better hitter. He's got a better approach than MJ Melendez. He got a little less swing and miss than Melendez did. I'm not worried about that being the outcome, but the Royals felt like they had to do something to bring the ballpark in line, not to be an extreme outlier, but just to be more average when it comes to how many home runs are hit. And the research they did suggested that the changes that they would have made over a period of time would have benefited them, would have been worth like a win and a half based on batted ball data for the Royals and batted ball data for their opponents. So the feeling is that the Royals would benefit more than their opponents from the fences moving in. Also, lower fences mean more home run robberies, and the Royals were quick to point that out. And that's fun too, right? Everybody loves a home run robbery. But the fences moving in, I think that's great news for Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen. I think that if you have them in like your fantasy keeper leagues, you probably pumped your fist a little bit today. I've got Caglione in mine, so I felt really good about that. Vinny Pasquantino offered his perspective today on the online platform formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X. Vinny's got the blue check, so he can tweet longer than the 240 characters. He had a lot of thoughts. I thought this was really interesting. I thought all of this was interesting. So I'm just going to read what Vinny P had to say about the change, because he feels like a guy. He's a 30 home run guy with the old fences. What could he be with the new fences? Could he hit 35? Could he hit 40? Could he drive in some more runs? Could he maybe make some more money in arbitration? Which right now, he and the Royals differ on how much money he should be making. And that's why they're going to trial. More on that in a second. This is what Vinny P said. I'm very curious how this is going to play out in multiple ways. And honestly, mostly from a data perspective, parentheses, this hits close to home because I'm about to go into a room and hear how awful I am. Remember, that's what I said arbitration hearings are. And that's why most teams really prefer to avoid them. The difference in ask from Pasquantino and offer from the Royals is only $500,000. Just get it done. Don't go dog Vinny in a trial setting. Don't do that. Meet in the middle. Come on. Anyway, more from Vinny. The K was the 6th most hitter-friendly ballpark according to the Park Factor. I'm not sure which Park Factor he's talking about. Are those Baseball Prospectus's numbers, Baseball Reference? I don't know. Will moving the fences in make this better or worse? Hitters like hitting at the K because the visuals are nice, but everyone also agrees it's been a pitcher's park forever. What this means is you can't hit cheap homers. That's literally all a hitter saying a park is a hitter's park or not means. But the data firmly supports it being a hitter's paradise because you can get more singles, doubles, and triples. Will the Park Factor actually go down if it's more of a neutral park because there will be fewer triples even if there are more home runs? What will this mean for the stat WRC plus, weighted runs created plus? We get punished with this stat for playing at the K now. So what will happen? More home runs equals more runs produced. But if the Park Factor goes down, so does the punishment for probably the most important stat in our game from an individual standpoint. I know some of you roll your eyes at the nerd numbers, but when it comes to arbitration hearings and such, like WRC plus, OPS plus, those are the numbers that teams use to determine how much they ought to pay guys. More from Vinny. All in all, I truly believe hitters and pitchers alike just want fairness, but we play only one of the only sports where the field size changes. And I think that's one of the cooler things about our game. I just rambled a lot, but I think it's cool the Royals were willing to make these changes to make it more of a neutral ballpark. It's easy to think, just look at the change. Oh, fence is coming in, more home runs, great. More room for fans to sit. There are going to be more rail side seats and right at the Pepsi porch, more bleacher seating, chairback seating out in left field by the visitor bullpen. That's all great. It will be interesting to see how offense is affected beyond just home runs. How many fewer doubles? How many fewer triples? Does that then balance out the K as a run-scoring environment? The data perspective, probably more interesting, honestly, for players than it is maybe even for us. But here's another factor here. Center field shrinks. Not entirely, but the gaps shrink, right? Like straight center field, still 410. Still one of the tougher center fields to play. But if there's less ground to cover, do the Royals prioritize outfield defense just a little less? Are they more inclined to say, we can sacrifice a little bit of glove work in center field because there's less ground to cover? Either way, it's a fascinating 5-year experiment that the Royals are going to run before they end up building their new ballpark. And I do think in the end that if the psychological effect that the Royals suggest is real, this is a great day to be Jack Caglione and hold Jack Caglione stock. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up this hour. 580 Sports Talk next. Adam Schefter must have heard me float Marcus Freeman's name as a Steelers candidate. Sent out a news alert on the ESPN app 5 minutes ago. Marcus Freeman expected to remain at Notre Dame for 2026. That, to me, strikes me as a, hey, come make me an offer I can't refuse. Sort of, Schefter's sources are agents, primarily. His sources are agents. So if he heard that from Marcus Freeman's agent. And if Marcus Freeman wanted his name out there this close to the opening for the Steelers, I think that might be about, we want to stay in college. But also, if you make us an offer you can't refuse. I think that would make a lot of sense. I really do. The more I think about it, the more I like that idea for the Steelers. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to reseed the NFL playoffs 1 through 8. Throw conferences out the window. How would you seed the final 8 in the NFL playoffs? Plus, Michael Swain of Fog.net joins us on 580 Sports Talk. Well, let's get it. Hour number 2 of 580 Sports Talk on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks so much for being with us on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and live on our streaming video channels, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube, WIBW News on Facebook. Gang's all here. Dan Lucero, Brendan Dworzinski, and Spencer Dupuis in the building. Great to have you guys. We have got some NFL to get to. We got some What Is Wrong With You this hour as well. Michael Swain of Fog.net joining us at the bottom of this hour for Jayhawk Weekly. Brought it up on the show yesterday. Last time that Kansas, as an unranked team, hosted a top 5 team at Allen Fieldhouse was 1989. What were you guys doing in 1989?
You know what? I wasn't alive.
Yeah, I wasn't alive either. My parents didn't even know each other.
Your parents hadn't met. Yeah, I was. I would have been turning 3 that year.
Wow, that's wild. My parents had already been married for 11 years. They'd have their 12th anniversary that year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a long time since that's been the case, but that is the case tonight with KU. It's weird. It's Big Tuesday. You know, you didn't have the big Monday doubleheader because of the NFL playoff game on ESPN last night. We got the 6 and 8 p.m. We got 8 p.m. tip at Allen Fieldhouse. Big Tuesday.
So we have 8:10 on ESPN News or ESPN2.
Yeah, 8:12.
When they should just make it 8:15.
What is the early game? Do you guys know?
I could not tell you.
The early college game tonight. I'm going to try and find it on the on ESPN's website. Looks like it is.
Big Monday has really made me hate the ACC, though.
Yeah, no, I feel you. What is it? Geez, there's like ESPN 2 games tonight.
The Deuce.
But yeah, maybe that's the only one.
Well, then maybe it'll start on time on the correct network.
Yeah, it actually appears that's the only game on Big ESPN.
Yeah, that is the only game on Big ESPN tonight.
Yeah, a lot on the plus, a lot on the 2.
Indiana, Michigan State on the cock. On Peacock.
Yep. Get that cock ready.
Also on NBCSN if you have YouTube TV.
The K-State's on the cock tomorrow night. K-State and UCF. UCF's the official Big 12 team with the cock.
Getting very, very close to a line here.
Brendan, you have YouTube TV. Did you see that they added multiple NBC Sports Network channels?
I did not. No. See, here's the thing, though. It's irrelevant to me because I have Peacock.
Yeah.
Trust me. If your significant other likes Bravo, you probably have Peacock.
I'm glad I'm not there.
Poker Face is really good. Watch that on Peacock. We get the most mileage right now, though, at the Lucero household out of the years of Barney reruns on Peacock.
Barney. A lot of Barney.
Son is a big fan of Riff. The orange one, who I think shows up season 9, maybe season 10. I can only say this.
That's deep into the Barney lore I was not aware of.
Yeah, there's an orange one. I can only tell you this. I was of the age, the cohort, where it was cool to hate Barney.
Same.
And I just have to say that we were right. We were 100% correct. That stuff is lame. Baby Bop is a bottom 1 television character in kids' television history. I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of people out there who say, no, it's Caillou or Calliou or however you pronounce that little bald-headed kid. Nobody likes him. I understand. No way is he worse than Baby Bop. If I got to hear the song
squeaky little voice
about the blankie that is yellow and that she loves more than a bowl of Jell-O one more time, I'm going to tear all of the hair out of my head.
Barney's was really boring. We put on an episode because I've shared before, we don't have our kid in front of the TV very much.
Try to limit screen time.
And look, sometimes the Packers play when she's awake, and that doesn't happen. But we put on an episode on Peacock one night. Like, okay, what are we getting into when we start to introduce some of these? And it's so boring. Like, nothing happens.
Well, that's why it's good kids television.
Right. Like, it's totally different than like, oh, we're going to try YouTube. Blam, pow. Logan Paul kills his brother. Watch this. Pow. Yeah. Mr. Beast is here. Pow.
You don't want it you don't want it to be overstimulating. Like Blue's Clues is what my son is really into right now.
That's what I watched when I was a kid.
Sesame Street, Barney, real low impact, low stakes, not a lot of in your face, not a lot happening. Like that's sort of the ideal if you're going to do screen time in the baby to toddler ages, that's probably the way to go. We are going to
N580 Kid Talk.
Is you having a problem with it, Spencer?
No, I just thought we talked some sports. That's why I jumped on the show.
Wow.
Excuse us. Excuse the hell out of us, Spencer, for having extracurricular interests. Anyhow.
Wow, that's the way to put it. Use that phrase with your wife. See how that goes.
Being a parent is an extracurricular. Anyhow, we are going to get to some NFL chat here. Like I said, we have Michael Swain coming up bottom of the hour to talk Jayhawks. We're going to do what is wrong with you here in a little bit. Want to hear from you in the text line, 785-272-9429. And, of course, in the YouTube chat at 580 Sports Talk. There are 8 teams remaining in the NFL playoffs. But in our midst right now, we have somebody who is an owner of one team that is not currently in the NFL playoffs anymore. And I just wanted to know if you had a statement that you wanted to make, Brendan Dworzinski, on the elimination of the Green Bay Packers, of which you are an owner, if people have forgotten.
I sent a text to a friend as soon as the Packers went 3 and out to start the third quarter that said we're going to lose this football game. Because it was, and like, let's be frank, the Packers should have lost all 3 games to the Bears. Every single game transpired exactly the same. Take the air out of the ball the entire first half. Be efficient when you get scoring opportunities. Ben Johnson does something really stupid and go up at halftime and then just completely whiz down your leg in the second half. It happened in the first game. They got lucky. Caleb Williams threw a terrible ball and got picked off. Second game, it happened. They lost and they just kept making mistakes. Third game, same exact thing. This is not as devastating to me as it was to some folks because I knew this team could not win a Super Bowl. Had the Packers won, they were going to face Seattle this week. And I think Green Bay can still put up some points on the Seahawks, but Kenneth Walker would go for 200 and they would not score enough against that deep. 17 would be a good number, and that's not going to win with the way the defense is playing. So that made it less painful than 2014 NFC Championship game, 2020 NFC Championship game, 2021 divisional round, all more painful than this was.
What happened in the 2014 NFC Championship game, Brendan? Would you like to revisit that one?
Yeah, Russell Wilson got a turbo concussion and
did.
it unlocked a part of his brain that he has never been able to tap back into. And that saved their season.
He got so concussed.
Mega concussion.
He threw so many interceptions in that game.
That's the concussions they talk about in the extended cut of that movie from a few years ago.
Maybe if Mike McCarthy hadn't kicked multiple 19-yard field goals, that game ends up a little different. I don't know. Anyway.
By the way, real quick, 2 notes because they are pertinent to my other interests. I think Matt LaFleur should stay, although probably need some other coaching changes. And I do believe Aaron Rodgers is done. I know you got to that at the end of last hour. I do believe he is done.
I didn't really get a chance to do it. I think he's done, but I don't think it'll be his choice. I think this is one of those nobody's going to offer him a jersey. That is not a quarterback where the juice is worth the squeeze anymore. It is not worth it to have that personality on your team. I think the skills are obviously diminished.
Now, he did say before the year that this was it.
He said this.
He already has said.
Yeah,
he loves attention, and he just won a division title. And what's he going to do? Go home to his definitely real wife?
No, he's going to go into healthcare.
He's going to be the
I'm not
deputy secretary of the HHS.
I think it was the Mina Kimes profile she wrote about him a decade and a half ago, where he was like, "Yeah, when I'm done with football, you'll never see me again. I have other interests. I don't need to be a commentator or a coach." And he wants to get into, I'm not kidding, medical technology.
He's gonna go to a cave in Southeast Asia and drink lizard diarrhea for a month.
Probably.
You're gonna see a lot of him on Joe Rogan. I'll just tell you that.
Let's talk about the 8 teams that are still left in the NFL playoffs. In the NFC, that's the Seahawks, the Bears, the Rams, and the 49ers. In the AFC, it's the Broncos, the Patriots, the Texans, and the Bills. Funnily enough, it's the 1, 2, 5, and 6 seeds in both conferences that ended up surviving. But what if we could reseed the entire playoff field, regardless of conference? If the goal is for the fairest divisional round matchups and to try and engineer the best possible Super Bowl matchup.
We're doing D2 Elite 8 rules.
Yes.
It's all regional until suddenly the most important week of the year. And then it's not.
Precisely. We are reseeding the entire NFL playoffs from 1 to 8, or should we go 8 to 1?
Let's go 8-1.
You think we go bottom to top?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So your number 8 seed, if we were reseeding the NFL playoffs, that has to be the 49ers, right? And it's not disrespect to the job Kyle Shanahan has done to get them here, or the job Brock Purdy did leading that second half comeback in Philadelphia, or the obvious greatness of Christian McCaffrey and some of the other outstanding players they have on that roster. It's a simple, math equation. They are running out of bodies. I know Fred Warner's practice window opened today.
Yeah.
That's great for them, but he's not going to play on Saturday or Sunday. They are, as Matt Verderam described them on Monday here on the show, they are a wounded animal. And that is what has made them dangerous, but it is also what I think makes them pretty clearly the 8th best team left in the 8 teams.
I've got the Bears 8, and I know that sounds like sour grapes. The Bears defense is I'm looking at this. Who is something that is legitimately great? Who is something that is legitimately awful? Both the Bears and 49ers have bad defenses. This is the thing that has, and
yeah, we saw
saw
that when they played against each other.
I'll tell you right now, I got the 49ers 7. So it's not like I'm totally on the other side of the spectrum. I have them as the favorites or anything. Take a look at the teams that lost too many of their best players this year. The Lions straight up missed the playoffs. Packers lost best edge rusher, best pass catcher, best interior defensive lineman, got bounced in the first round. Their whole season fell apart, in fact, when those guys started getting hurt late in the year. The Niners keep losing guys, and they keep winning. Brock Purdy was really good this year when he was out there. Shoot, Mac Jones was good out there. I think Kyle Shanahan should run away with Coach of the Year, which is saying something in a year where Mike McDonald has been awesome, in a year where Liam Cohen has been awesome. I think it should be Kyle Shanahan who wins it. They keep finding ways to win even through that obvious weakness, and that offense is so high-powered right now, I can't put them last. Bears offense is high-powered too, but I'm going to go with Shanahan in that situation over Johnson, and I'll put the 49ers 7th, Bears 8th.
I'm right with you, Brendan. I think it's crazy that you look at all these injuries, and while they're running out of bodies, they should have, if they were running out of bodies, if Kittle went down in that game, it was early on in that game enough to where, if it mattered that much, they would have lost the game, but it didn't.
I just am so amazed by the fact that they keep winning.
Yeah.
So I can't drop them all the way down, but I still have them 7th.
I understand the concerns about the Bears. I have them 6th. I have the Denver Broncos 7th. They don't have any offensive playmakers. None. Even Cortland Sutton, who's a good wide receiver, is that the guy who's going to go 130 yards, 2 touchdowns on your number 1 corner in a playoff game? I don't think that he is. Is Bo Nix the guy who's going to be the separator? No, he's not. The Broncos, even more so than the Texans, and even more so than the Seahawks, who are the other 2 teams left with truly elite, top-of-the-pops defenses. The Broncos are the team of those 3 that most has to hide their quarterback because of Nix's deficiencies. And in a playoff setting, their only hope is to play toilet ball on offense and gain 4 or 5 yards at a stretch, which is hard for them to do because they can't really run the ball. They haven't had a good running game since J.K. Dobbins got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think there's enough pop on offense. And quiet as it's kept, defense hasn't really played well since their bye week. Hasn't been particularly spectacular. Still sacking the quarterback, which, I mean, that's not nothing. But as far as down over down, there's been some diminishing returns on that Bronco defense. So for me, that is why I have them 7th. I think Nix is the worst quarterback left.
I was going to ask you who the worst quarterback is left, and I probably would go Nix.
And I just don't think they have the offensive playmaking to overcome that. Denver's a hard place to play in the playoffs. Bills are uber banged up, can't really stop anybody. Maybe that is a good matchup right now for the Broncos, who can play toilet ball against a Bills team that can't really stop the run. But I just don't see the Broncos being able to do it 3 times in a row to gain 4.5 yards per play and do that all the way to a Lombardi. So for me, I have the Broncos 7th and the Bears 6th.
Quick audit of some of the advanced metrics. EPA per play, that's very in vogue in NFL analytics circles, NFL discussion right now. Since returning from their bye, the Broncos are 12th in defensive EPA per play, which is not bad. but it's also not close to the top. And when you consider some of the other teams that are around, the Seahawks, the Texans, shockingly, the Patriots are up there. The Bills, that's also a shock. We'll get to them in a moment. Like, all those teams are ahead of Denver right now. And I agree that they just don't have enough offensively to make you think, yeah, they can really pull this out. Courtland Sutton, by the way, 200-yard games this year, never had multiple touchdowns in the game. I think he's a really good player. I don't even think he's like...
He's not a bum.
And I don't think he's even not a number one.
He's mid. There's nothing wrong with being mid.
I think he's better than that, but he's not a takeover guy. No. And look at the players on these other teams. They've got takeover guys.
Even if it's just the quarterback in the case of the Bills.
Which is going to really blow your mind when I tell you I have the Broncos ahead of the Bills. I have the Broncos 5th. I have the Bills 6th. If you wanted to argue flip them, that's fine. I think the Bills defense is just as bad as the Bears and the 49ers.
It's not good, but boy, they have a knack for coming up with the takeaway,
and
coming up with the big
best
play.
Quarterback left. Although the team I have 4th is darn close. They have the best quarterback left, and that certainly helps them. But like they just Nate Tice of Yahoo Sports, I love this. He calls vertical receivers that block the football 3-and-D guy, like basketball players shoot 3, play on ball defense. That's go ball threats who block. Tyrell Shavers tore his ACL. He played the entire second half this weekend on a torn ACL, which is wild. So they lost another receiver in an already bad receiver room. They cannot stop the run to save their lives. They actually got a good matchup in the first playoff game because the Jags can't run the ball at all. They can win another game. I just don't think they have a Super Bowl in them because I just don't think they have enough help for Allen.
No, and I understand that for sure. I guess my argument, and I'm not. Let me hold my thought on the Bills because I want to see Spencer. Who did you have 6th?
6th. I'd go Broncos 6th.
You go Broncos 6th?
It's just hard for me because they're in the position they are and they haven't played a game in the playoffs for me. It's hard to reseed them with a bye. So I've contemplated where they were.
Trying to strip that out of the equation, just like on current form or what you think of
we haven't seen like
roster.
Them to a T for a few weeks.
Yeah, because like right now in the YouTube comments, I said Bo Nix is the worst quarterback left, and both Triple G and Andrew in the YouTube comments and welcome in guys both said no, it's CJ Stroud because he was terrible last night, and he was terrible last night. Here's the difference between Nix and Stroud to me, which is why I would still put Stroud ahead of Nix, even though Stroud is by no means perfect. CJ Stroud can make a big-time throw.
Yeah.
He can make a big-time throw, and he is trusted and asked to make big-time throws, and Bo Nix is notably not.
And, two, they have better receivers. Like, the receivers help make quarterbacks look good, just like good quarterbacks can make receivers look better. Like, okay, there's an example for you. I don't think Bo Nix makes Courtland Sutton better. I think Courtland Sutton is the same good player that he has been. I don't think Nix makes anybody on that team better. I think he's a piece of the offense. I don't think he's a game changer.
Okay.
I think Stroud can be, but I admit he sucked. He was awful last night. He got bailed out by that defense. Big time.
100%. So I think you get the problem with the Texans is we were talking about this all offseason. Like they needed to do something and they just gave away his offensive lineman. And
their line's
showed last night.
Yeah,
but he got sacked 3 times last night.
I mean, Pittsburgh's defensive line's really good.
Yeah,
they got a first team all
Three,
pro.
yeah,
they
three's
got
not like
Heisman.
DEFCON 1 or anything.
No, but
like
imagine
that.
if he had a better offensive line.
Well,
we'd be
nice.
talking about him in a better light than we are right now.
And if Bo Nix could complete a pass down the field, we'd talk about him in a different way too.
I mean, that's true.
But anyway, I have I had the Broncos. The Broncos 7th, 6th. I had the Bears. 5th is where I have the Texans because of my concerns about the offense. Now, no Nico Collins moving forward. That's a big deal.
That does suck.
If he's not going to be able to go moving forward. That would be really unfortunate for the Texans. So I have them 5th. 4th is where I have the New England Patriots.
I also have them 4th.
Yeah.
And I have them 4th because we saw their defensive playmakers in evidence against the Chargers. We saw Milton Williams have a big game. We saw Christian Gonzalez play awesome.
Yeah.
Gonzalez also in the concussion protocol as well, which would be pretty bad news for the Patriots if he could not go. Although yeah, you're playing the Texans and their number one wide receivers in the protocol.
That's true.
That could balance itself out. But I have the Patriots fourth. Again, they were not convincing in their win over the Chargers, and they still feel very much like a team who just has not, I haven't seen that top to bottom, we are for real performance from them.
Mm-hmm.
I just have not seen that even one time this season against a credible opponent. Like, they played a great first half against Buffalo a few weeks back. They played a great second half against Baltimore a few weeks back, came back and won that game. Where is the 60-minute performance from the Patriots that makes clear they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender? I just haven't seen that, so that's why I have them fourth.
Their quarterback's incredible. I don't know how much other incredible talent they have. I mean, Gonzalez is really, really good. He never gets talked about because they've sucked, but he's really good. Milton Williams changes everything for that defensive front. Their defense is playing a lot better. Their offense, their pieces on offense stink, like, still. You want to talk about a quarterback making a receiver look better? Kayshon Boutte, I thought, was going to be in the UFL by this point, and he has been, like, useful for them.
Yeah.
They've got May. They don't have a lot else there. Their offensive line's okay. Will Campbell was terrible against the Chargers on Sunday night, although I do like him as a young player. I just don't think they have the horses outside of quarterback on offense. That's my big worry for them.
I have the Bills third. It is strictly a Josh Allen rating. I think he's the best quarterback left. And I think when you have that guy, that it tends to elevate some of the you put your defense in a spot where they might not be very good down for down, but all they got to do is make one play.
I've got the Texans third, jumping them a little bit. So you and I have the Bills and Texans almost exactly flipped. Again, I don't think Stroud is like a top 5 quarterback by any means, but he has moments where he can take over a game and make those big throws, and their defense just kills you. I mean, they just beat you to a pulp.
They do.
And that is scary at this time of year. Their running game is I do like the 2 Iowa State receivers have really come on for them, which has been a big help. So I've got them third, although I think they're a full step below the top 2.
Who's third for you, Spencer?
Bills.
The Bills.
Just like you. I mean, it's just the Josh Allen effect, and we saw that in the game.
So we're all left with the Seahawks and Rams 1-2. And that's wild because I think you could say that Darnold is either the second or third worst quarterback left of the 8.
Yeah.
But the difference between considering Darnold and considering, say, Bo Nix is the Seahawks do have playmakers on offense. They do have a credible running game in a way that the Denver Broncos have not since Dobbins went out. And they have the guy who might win Offensive Player of the Year at wide receiver in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Should win it.
And their defense has gotten better as the season has gone on because Nick Eamon-Warry, who was hurt early and missed a good chunk of the start of the season, has plugged himself in as the ultimate nickel right now for them, where he can play as a slot, he can cover, he can play as a safety, he can fill in the gaps against the run because of how physically he plays. And much like the championship teams in Seattle, you don't have to differ from your base defense. Like, that was the whole thing with Seattle. They never had to bring their base off the field because they had solutions in coverage, and Cam Chancellor could come down and man the box and take care of everything. I'm not saying Nick Eamon-Warry is prime Cam Chancellor, but their base defense, the guys they have on the field, have all the answers. So they don't have to bring their base on the field. It's why San Francisco couldn't run on them 2 weeks ago. It's why I don't think they can run on them on Saturday night. But I have the Seahawks second behind the Rams. And again, I just think that the Rams, even though defensively they're a little small at defensive back, and that could be a problem against some bigger wide receivers.
Small is a nice way to put it.
Yeah,
that secondary sucks.
Yeah.
It's bad.
They are small. But
okay, you could end up in a situation in the NFC Championship game where Jackson Smith and Jigba is guarded by Akello Witherspoon.
Yeah.
That should be 14 catches for 200 yards. I will tell you right now, I've got Seattle number 1.
Okay.
And I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl from the start of the year. I picked them at the start of this. And I do have a little financial interest in that. I think that defense is the one that is perfectly made to at least frustrate the Rams, if not entirely stop them. Rams have a historically good run game in terms of the efficiency numbers, but that defense is good. If you can survive the 3 Darnold plays, you can win any game with that team.
They found the blueprint in the San Francisco game. Just don't ask Darnold to make the hold your breath throw.
Yeah.
Limit his opportunities to hurt you.
Get ahead early.
Which, again, not dissimilar to how the Broncos treat Knicks. But, again, I think there are a lot more playmakers, and it's a defense that's playing better. Yeah. That's the difference in opinion between Denver and Seattle for me. That and I think that the difference in home field atmosphere, like it's hard to win in Denver, it's really hard to win in Seattle in the playoffs.
Yeah.
When every time they've been a 1 seed, they've gone to the Super Bowl. I don't think that's an accident. Quickly, Spencer, who's your 2 and who's your 1?
It's Seahawks second,
Rams
first. I just think Rams have the firepower and the more consistency on offense.
Their big worry is special teams. And almost cost them. They had a pump block against the Panthers.
Yeah.
That's their big concern. But I still think they're the most complete team. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll go a quick what is wrong with you, and then Michael Swain will join us for Jayhawk Weekly on 580 Sports Talk. What is wrong with you, Tom? On 580 Sports Talk, our current weekly champion, the first-class idiots, the 2 women who thought that even though they had coach tickets on a flight in Miami, they would just sit in first class and that would be fine. It was not fine. They were later upgraded to seats in the back of a police car. They were dragged off of the plane in handcuffs. 2 news stories today. I will go first. A woman stole somebody's Stanley Cup at a recreation complex in Florida. 29-year-old Ariana Moss arrested on a misdemeanor charge. She stole the 40-ounce light blue Stanley Cup and concealed it in her lunchbox before exiting Highland Rec Center. She saw the 22-year-old victim frequently drinking from the Stanley Cup, and at one point, according to a witness/employee, Moss pointed to the cup and said, "This cup would be great to hold my breast milk." Moss, who worked at the rec complex, quit her job 3 days later and has not been heard from since.
Wow.
So I didn't know that's what those Stanley Cups were. I mean, I guess you can use them for anything.
Yeah.
It's a receptacle, right?
Right.
As our pal Jake LeBon would put it.
But she posted $150 bond. Never seen a number that low before.
Petty theft. What do you got, Brendan?
All right, so we're going down to Putnam County, Florida, where 58-year-old Wendy Messer, originally from Satsuma, was arrested Monday after a food-related altercation, which includes allegations of battery and aggravated assault with a weapon. And by the way, one of the funniest drug excuses you've ever heard. Deputies responded to a report of an altercation at Messer's home about 9:15 Monday p.m. One victim claimed Messer threw a plate of collard greens at her and then threatened to use a knife against her. A second victim reported fear when Messer approached her while holding a cast iron skillet in a threatening manner. I love that line in particular. The first victim stated that during the argument, Messer swung her hand close to her face, narrowly missing her nose, as outlined in an incident report. When the deputies arrested Messer, she reportedly reached for her pocket. Upon inquiry about illegal substances, she mentioned maybe marijuana. Well, that gives probable cause to the police. A search then revealed 2 glass smoking pipes with residue not associated with marijuana, but with crack cocaine.
Oh,
Wow, that took a turn.
Furthermore, they discovered a vial containing a white rock-like substance that tested positive for cocaine. Messer, however, denied ownership of her jeans that she was wearing, suggesting she had been set up.
I was framed by the pants.
Coles framed me. These are not my Levi's.
Nah, that rules. That wins. That wins the week.
These
Wait a
are
minute.
not my pants.
These aren't mine. These jeans? Nah, man, these are somebody else.
33-34 couldn't be me.
Yep, that's going to be our new winner. We'll
Yeah,
come
I'm
up with a
with
clever
you.
name for that one on What Is Wrong With You. When we come back, I'm out of here for high school basketball. Hayden and Topeka High tonight at the Butel Center on Tuesday Night Hoops. Michael Swain joins us for Jayhawk Weekly after this break on 580 Sports Talk.
Joining us here in the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour on a Tuesday afternoon, it is the one, the only Michael Swain of Fog.net. He covers Kansas Jayhawks basketball, football, recruiting, all of it and more, better than anybody else for Fog.net and 24/7 Sports. Joining us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits Hotline. Michael, first thing I've got for you, let's start by looking back before we look ahead to tonight. What the hell happened on Saturday? I was not able to watch like super intently live. I had the radio broadcast going for a while. I'm getting everything set up for the Washburn game. And I see, oh, great, it's 59-51 KU. And then all of a sudden it's tied. And then all of a sudden they're losing. And again, I repeat to myself, what the hell is going on? So I will ask you, why did that go off the rails so badly in the second half?
Yeah, for a while there, it felt like almost a vintage kind of Bill Self Kansas basketball Big 12 road game, right? Where, it's not a pretty first half, but then all of a sudden KU goes on a run to end the first half, and you're looking at it like, all right, maybe KU figured it out. They've got some momentum going into the second half. Hey, can you start fast or, start the second half? And in that, obviously, didn't happen. And, man, I feel like there's just a lot of different ways you could go with this. Like, we could talk about the offense completely just falling apart, and that's with Darren Peterson on the floor. That's one of the more concerning parts about it. I think that second half kind of stint where KU barely scored in the middle of the second half is the fact that Darren Peterson was on the floor for several minutes, and KU still couldn't score the basketball. That part's concerning. Obviously, I think Bill Self also said that, KU's defense has been exposed a little bit. You saw KU switch things up a little bit more, a little less switching, a little bit more kind of the hedging stuff that, they've done under Bill Self for a long time now. And there's just gives and takes with some of that where, KU tried to switch for a long time and it had its ups and downs, and teams started to attack kind of Bryson Tiller or Jamar McDowell or really just going after the weak link on the floor. So KU switches things up, but then the way KU guards kind of the ball screen stuff, it leads to more kind of open 3-pointers. And West Virginia is a team that's got some shooters and guys that maybe aren't always the most efficient scorers, but on their night, man, they can give it to you. And that's what they did. And it's just one of those where it's concerning the fact that I think every game right now, you can kind of bank on KU's offense going silent for 4 minutes, maybe even in both halves. That's concerning. And then also just defensively, like KU over the last 3 games is like the 212th ranked defense. Like, you're just not going to win many games in the Big 12 playing defense like that either, especially if your offense is going to go 4+ minutes without scoring in these games. So it's just one of those where there's just so many things that went wrong and so much that I think concerning in the big picture for KU.
We're joined by Michael Swain of Fog.net and 24/7 Sports. And Michael, last week I asked you about Flory Badunga potentially kind of getting back up his numbers and having better performances, and then we go see he gives up just a bunch defensively, and Harlan Obioa, I believe it's Obioa has just a heck of a performance against him. What is going on with Flory Badunga?
He is who he is. He's a 6'9" center who isn't going to throw his weight around, and anybody that's kind of 6'11", 240 plus is going to give him issues. That's just kind of what it's going to be. And so I think you look at what he offers you defensively as a rim protector, right, when he's at his best. Like, some of that stuff is super positive, but you can also look at specific matchups, and you can already tell going into a game. You can just look at the roster. Hey, what's the other team's starting center? Oh, they're a 7-footer who's 260 pounds. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is not a Flory game. And that's the issue for KU, is the fact that, let's be real here. KU's second highest paid player is a guy who has severe limitations, and you got to play specific style to that. And West Virginia had the personnel to match. I think you could even look at Iowa State tonight, and I'm really interested to see how KU guards them, because obviously Jefferson's done a great job. But he's kind of a physical player who more plays the 4 of those. So how does that match up with Bryson? But when it comes to Flory, like, you just look at his numbers against power 4 teams. He's going to get you kind of 10 points on 55% shooting. He's going to get you 8-9 rebounds. But then you can ask yourself, is that the type of production you want from, again, your second highest paid player? So that's just the fact of the matter. And so I think that's going to be something that KU's going to have to figure out, is how in those types of games, do you play around Flory and make sure that his weaknesses can be covered up and that his strengths are emphasized? That's going to be a big test for the coaching staff.
All right, Michael. So tonight at Allen Fieldhouse, KU unranked, Iowa State number 2. Iowa State very good. You obviously know a ton about the inner workings of that program, having covered that team for a while, just like you do obviously with this KU team. Iowa State's damn good. I mean, that's a national championship contending kind of team. KU's playing at home. We know KU has talent. You know, Darren Peterson can be truly, truly great. They've got guys who can make plays. What is the pathway to an upset here? What is it going to take? And I'm not saying it's likely, but what is it going to take for KU to find a way to pull this one out?
It's funny. I was texting one of my friends literally 20 minutes ago, and I said, this feels like an Allen Fieldhouse game where just for whatever reason, you need guys like Melvin Council to make threes that maybe he doesn't make consistently. You need Trey White and Flory Badunga, like everyone to play above the level they've played at recently. And then you need the building to get to Iowa State. And the only issue is that you're looking at Iowa State's best players, right? It's Taman Lindsey, who's been in the building before and has played well. It's Joshua Jefferson, right, who's been in the building before. Like, that's kind of the issue. So I think if you're going to look at this from a game plan perspective, right, Iowa State does a great job of forcing turnovers. KU's actually pretty decent at not turning the ball over, but this is the type of game where KU cannot give Iowa State free possessions. You look at what Iowa State does in terms of their scoring. They really shoot the three well. Most of that's because Mo Masilovic is shooting the lights out from three this year. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the country. And they do a really good job of shooting three, but they don't take a lot. So for KU, it's going to be, can you force him into mid-range jumpers? Can you keep Jefferson from having the wide-ranging impact that he has on the games? And then for KU, it's just going to be one of those games where you need Darren to play well. You need him playing 30 minutes. You need him closing the basketball game. And then you need your kind of other players around him to just play better than they've played recently. Like, this is a team that's got the talent to go compete with Iowa State, right? You saw KU do it without Darren against a UConn team. But you need big-time performances. And so that's what I'm going to be really interested to see tonight is how does KU step up to the task? And look, if they don't, you're talking about the worst start to conference play, I believe, since the 87-88 season. Which is funny. You can look at Danny Manning and Darren and make all sorts of comparisons if you want. But
Darren and the Miracles? Are we calling it now?
I'm most certainly not calling it now. But I'm floating that for you there. So yeah, it's a big game, and it's a big game for momentum's sake. Like, you win this game, even if it doesn't change really. A little while, because then KU kind of gets into this little, really what is the last manageable stretch, I think, for KU for a long while. Because really after next week you play K-State on the road, then all of a sudden it's BYU, Tech, Arizona, Iowa State. Like, oh my God. So it's a big one for KU tonight.
Real quick, Michael, because I want to make sure to get to football here before we let you go. But one more real quick for basketball. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is don't worry about it. 10 is disaster. Oh no, what a bad idea. Where is the concern level with Bryson Tiller right now? Really on both ends of the floor.
5.
Okay.
5 or 6. You know, I'm moderately concerned. Defensively, he's not been good. You wonder about the matchups, right? Like I mentioned, Jefferson tonight. Maybe that fits him a little bit better. And then offensively, like, he's just got to play bigger. Like, that's what he's got to do. And the coaches are on him every day at practice. I know that for a fact. So moderately concerned, but it's one of those where freshmen have lulls. This might be his lull, and Bill Self's definitely hoping that this is a lull and he gets back to it here in the next game or two.
All right, really quickly, as we're joined by Michael Swain of Fog.net, joins us every Tuesday for Jayhawk Weekly at this time on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits Hotline. You've got a piece over at Fog.net right now, Michael, taking a quick look at how the roster for KU football is shaping up as we get through the meat of portal season. It's behind the VIP paywall. Guys, we're not a VIP. I tell you every single week. Go figure it out because it's the best way to get all of Michael's best insight. So I will just ask you big picture here, Michael. How good is this roster looking? I know that's a very vague, general, overarching question, but, should KU fans be encouraged about the work that KU has done through, again, the bulk of the portal period?
Yeah, I would be encouraged. I think in my own estimation, I think things have gone better than I expected at certain positions.
All right.
D tackle, it's going to be the best group of D tackles K's had, like bar none. Really, generally, the defensive line I feel pretty good about. Safety is a position that was awful for Kansas last year. I think they'll be better there. And then you look at offense, and that's really where I'm like, I don't know how this is going to look, because obviously you don't know who's going to start a quarterback. But man, you had Nick McMillan from Buffalo, the MAC's leading receiver, first team All MAC. You had two tight ends, Jalen Butler, Carter Moses, two guys who produced, can provide more pass catching threat. You like what you see there, especially with the ability for KU to scheme guys open. And then running back, you had two kind of big physical runners in Jalen Dupree and Sin Willis. And you like kind of the skill positions that have shown up there. But again, it comes down to, how does the offensive line develop? What level of quarterback play do you get? And then defensively, like, how do the pieces come together? So overall, I think it's been an encouraging little period. But as I always have to remind myself, like, other teams in the Big 12 are adding players too. Like, Arizona State has gone out and spent a boatload of money on their roster. And that's the thing about it, right? If you look at this from a Kansas perspective, things have gone great. You look at from the big picture perspective of the Big 12, other teams are able to add players too, right? It's not just Kansas that's improving its roster right now. So it's going to make for an interesting offseason, a lot of storylines to track. But I think generally, like, if I'm going to give a KU a portal grade right now, I'd say it's a solid B. I think things have gone pretty well.
Solid B. That's 2 letters higher than my average grades when I was in college, so I'll take it. Michael Swain covers the Kansas Jayhawks better than absolutely anybody. You can find his work at fog.net and 24/7 Sports. Go be a VIP so you can get all those inside scoops. Michael, we appreciate the time, man. Enjoy Allen Fieldhouse tonight.
Sounds good, guys. Talk to you next week.
That is the great Michael Swain of fog.net joining us for Jayhawk Weekly. We've got to get to a quick break. We will come on back, wrap up this 4 o'clock hour on 580 Sports Talk. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour of the show, and we do expect to have a full 5 o'clock hour for you today, we'll get to a very busy day of 580 Sports Talk headlines. A lot of news in coaching around the NFL. Obviously, the resignation, the stepping down of Mike Tomlin, the biggest story of the day, but some other big news from around the sports world as well that we will get to. We'll preview KU versus Iowa State coming up tonight. A bit worried about that one for the Jayhawks, not going to lie to you. That one's coming up tonight, and we'll do a little Ask Me Anything with Spencer and I, too. We got a little free time that we weren't expecting on a Tuesday, so we'll do a little Ask Me Anything. Send your questions in either on the text line, 785-272-9429, or drop them in the YouTube comments. We're back after the news and a couple of ad breaks back here on 580 Sports Talk for the 5 o'clock hour. o'clock hour of 580 Sports Talk going up on a Tuesday. I'm Brendan Dworzinski. That is Spencer Dupuis. Dan Lucero is at Hayden High School getting ready for 580 Preps Tuesday night hoops. It's Hayden versus Topeka High coming up tonight. Girls game first, boys game to follow. We expect to get you to pregame right around the top of the 6 o'clock hour, likely to be later than earlier. But we will get you out there once JV is all wrapped up and Dan's ready to go with pregame. Should be a fun one. An old Centennial League rivalry as Hayden takes on Topeka High. And again, you can hear the girls game, the boys game, all the games right here on 580 WIBW. Thank you for hanging out with us today, whether you're listening on 580 AM, 104.9 FM in the capital city, online at 580WIBW.com, or checking us out on the YouTube feed, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Thank you for spending some of your afternoon hours with us. The YouTube comment section exploded during the top of the hour break with suggestions, recommendations, requests for 580 Sports Talk Idol, the 580 Sports Talk Karaoke Spectacular coming up 1 week from today. 4:06, that's when we come back from the news. Just after the top of the 4 o'clock hour, though, on January 20th, right here on the program, we will be doing 580 Sports Talk Sings the Hits. Now, that's what I call 580 Sports Talk. We've had a lot of requests. Some of them are great. Some of them are terrible. And I'm sure that is intentional. I am positive.
Did you see the ones we got directly in the text line yesterday? I know you weren't on, but I didn't know if you were.
I do see we got My Heart Will Go On.
They want you to sing Baby by Justin Bieber.
See, I feel like that's easy because there's like 7 words to the song. I feel like that's like cutting me some slack almost. I don't really have the Bieber hair anymore. I for a while when I was a little younger, when I used to like not brush my hair during the day, it was real bad. No, I feel like that's almost letting me off the hook, but I'll take it. I'll live with that. I see the 615 texted in Amish Paradise by Weird Al. I think I know all those words as it is.
I was doing karaoke with the guy that I worked with the last place when we were doing ironically, the Tyson Bajan show we did.
Uh-huh.
And he copped out. We all did legit songs, the 3 of us, except for he copped out and he did Tequila by the Champs. Tequila. Literally one word.
Man, sounds like you guys were suckers.
It says it's tequila 3 times in the song. That's it.
That's pretty funny. But yes, we'll take your recommendations. I saw someone say that we might not take them past Thursday. I don't know. That's a Dan call right there. So if you have a request for 580 Sports Talk Idol, get them in either on the text line 785-272-9429 or send them along in the YouTube feed. Again, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. I don't know what we'll do at 1,000. We haven't even done the 900 celebration yet. That's next week. I don't know what we'll do at 1,000. We got to do something special though. That's a long ways off, but we'll do something special for you. We will get to a preview of KU versus Iowa State coming up a little bit later on. We'll also do a little Ask Me Anything this hour. We've got some extra time because of a late start to Tuesday Night Hoops. So if you have a question you would like to ask myself, Spencer, both of us about anything, sports, pro wrestling, Pokemon, these are all just questions for me. Food, you're welcome to ask us any questions in the YouTube comments or on the text line. Okay, Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. That's a pretty good one. I'm not going to lie. That came in from the text line from the 785. All right, we've got headlines to get to. Number one, biggest headline of the day from the NFL. Mike Tomlin, after 19 years as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, 13 division championships, never had a losing season, won Super Bowl 43 over the Arizona Cardinals in one of the greatest Super Bowls in my and many football scholars' opinion. Not that I'm a scholar by any means. He officially today stepped down as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And according to Adam Schefter of ESPN, he is not expected to coach elsewhere coming up in 2026. If he wants to be on TV, I bet you every single network that carries the NFL would love to have Mike Tomlin on their studio crew. Tomlin put in a statement released through the Steelers in part This organization has been a huge part of my life for many years, and it has been an absolute honor to lead this team. I'm deeply grateful to Art Rooney II and the late Ambassador Rooney for their trust and support. I am also thankful to the players who gave everything they had every day, and to the coaches and staff whose commitment and dedication made this journey so meaningful. I also thank Steeler Nation. Your passion, loyalty, and high expectations represent what makes this franchise truly special. Coaching in Pittsburgh is unlike anywhere else, and I will always take great pride in having been a steward of this team. I believe Mike Tomlin is an all-time great NFL coach. I do.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
And the part of this that I think gets lost in the world that is made up of the 24-hour news cycle and nonstop sports coverage all the time, which I'm not complaining about because I consume it all the time. But when you've got multiple all sports networks, you can get stuff on YouTube and on the radio and everywhere. And there always needs to be a take, and there always needs to be a spin, and there always needs to be something new on top of something new. And here's this voice and that voice. God forbid, social media. I think the Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season thing has become something of a meme. And yeah, they have not won a playoff game since 2017. I understand that. And wow, how great is it to go 8-8 and then 9-8 or 10-7, get to the first round of the playoffs and get your ass kicked. That was awful last night. They got pounded into dust. Do you know how hard it is to win games in the NFL and to win more games than you lose and to do it year after year after year? This, I don't believe, will ever happen again. Bill Belichick never had something like this. Don Shula never had something like this. There are great coaches, true greats of the game, who never were able to do something like this, who never would have gotten a chance to be at a place this long, and that's a reflection of the Steelers and their culture as well. Since 1969, they have had 3 head coaches. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. That's it. 6 Super Bowls, 3 head coaches. And for the last 19 years, they have not had a single losing season. 20. Throw in Bill Cowher's last year, too. That is absolutely unbelievable what they've been able to accomplish. And I know Mike Tomlin's got a lot of say in personnel. You don't stick around 19. That's like when Andy Reid says, well, that's Brett's department. Come on. Yeah, Brett Veach makes the final call, but let's be real here. Andy Reid's got say in personnel, specifically pro personnel for the Chiefs, and plenty of draft picks too. You know Mike Tomlin has plenty of input, but they have not had a quarterback worth a damn in how long? Even that 2020 team that was the fakest 11-0 team in the history of the NFL, Big Ben with his arm completely cooked, at least they put up points, but it's been a long time since they've had even average quarterback play. Rodgers this year was probably about average. Russell Wilson sucked. Justin Fields sucked. Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges. I mean, these guys have been terrible, and yet they never have a losing season. And I think it's unbelievable.
It's because of how much not pressure, how much the Steelers as an organization, as a historical as an organization, put into their defense.
Well, and they're this year their defense kind of stunk.
Yeah, but I'm saying over the years, you can have a great defense and an above average offense, and it carries you to never have a losing season.
And what is Mike Tomlin's specialty?
Defense.
Defensive coordinator for Minnesota before he ended up in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's remarkable, I think, what they've been able to do. Now, that being said, I believe Pittsburgh needs to gut everything, because while there are talented players in this team, and TJ Watt's highly paid, and Alex Heisman's a good player, and they've drafted reasonably well, their offensive line's pretty decent, they are really old on defense. Really old. And I think they need to, and we have a great text right here from the 785. Came in right now, spot on. Steelers defense this year was the highest paid. It did not perform like it. Yes. Old guys, vet free agents. Let's bring in Rodgers. Let's push for a championship one more time. Go into next season with some major changes, whether we do or do not have Mike Tomlin. I think they need an eat your vegetables, take your medicine kind of year. I really do believe that. Now, I don't know that they will, because, again, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers we're talking about. There's a lot of pride there. I don't know if they would go through a crappy year to try to get a quarterback early in the draft or not. They've got to find a quarterback, though. More than anything, they need a long-term quarterback. They have not had it in way, way, way too long for a franchise that is that proud and that sound in so many other things that they do. So that would be the number one thing for me for them going forward. Whoever the head coach is going to be, you have to somehow, some way find a quarterback. I've got a soft spot for the Steelers. My grandpa's from Pittsburgh. My mom grew up really enjoying the Steelers. I have a lot of respect for that organization, certainly for Mike Tomlin. Even if it takes a year of sucking, you have got to find a quarterback.
I think even like 2 years, right? Like a year for the quarterback to adjust to the league, and you build around the quarterback.
Our same texture here says Malik Willis to the Steelers. Depends how many of those expensive defensive contracts they can get out of. And look, I love Malik Willis. I will never feel negatively about Malik Willis because of what he's done for the Packers the last couple of years. It's been incredible. If you do not have the right play caller, I think that could be a disaster. Like before Mike McDaniel got fired, I thought Malik Willis to Miami was perfect. And now he's obviously not there anymore. So if you've got the right play caller, I think that can make sense. You're probably not paying, prime top of market value for him. But again, I think you've got to have the perfect offense. Otherwise, Matt LaFleur disguised a lot, I'm telling you, with Willis. But again, big fan of Malik Willis. We've got plenty of other stuff to get to today, Spencer. So why don't you dive in? What's your first headline for us today?
First headline for me, Kansas State has landed the reigning Big 12 defensive newcomer of the year in Wendell Gregory from Oklahoma State University in the transfer portal as K-State continues to get new guys in through the portal.
Wendell Gregory started his career at South Carolina, and this past season at Oklahoma State, South Carolina, he made one tackle. I mean, he barely played in 24. This year, though, first year as a full-time contributor, 4 sacks, a forced fumble, and for some reason, ESPN's not giving me the total here, but he also, I believe, had 11 tackles for loss on the season. Good player. Really good player. He was a redshirt freshman this year. K-State's got him with plenty of eligibility. This is going to be 3 schools by his redshirt sophomore season, so who knows how long he'll actually be around. I have a thought on redshirts here in just this moment, by the way. But I think this is massive for K-State. Need a little bit more juice in that pass rush, especially when you lose Obi Izor, when you lose Osunsami, all these really talented guys up front who are going on to other really good programs. You needed to add some more juice there, and that's certainly what Wendell Gregory brings to the table. So I think that's a big win for K-State to get him. Some other quick transfer portal news here. K-State's former linebacker, Jake Clifton, you remember, played for K-State, was looking to be pretty good, took a year off to go on a mission. He is transferring to BYU. I believe that aligns with his faith and beliefs, so very happy for Jake Clifton in that regard. Also significant elsewhere in the Big 12, Colorado's best offensive lineman, maybe best offensive player, Jordan Seaton, their left tackle. He is going in the transfer portal. He does not want to play in Brennan Marion's stupid, dumbass gimmick offense. And frankly, I do not blame him at all for that. I wanted to get to this today as well, and we're just going to piggyback on these college football headlines here. So this is from the former Thursday guest during college football season on 580 Sports Talk, David Ubben of The Athletic. Sharing this earlier today. Let me go and find this. FBS head coaches today voted unanimously to expand the eligibility for redshirt years from 4 games to 9. This is just a recommendation. It will be put forth to the Division I committees in the future. So, to put this in layman's terms, when we say the redshirt rule, when guys now, because it used to be if you played a single snap, you burned your red shirt. Then several years ago now, I don't even remember how many years ago it was now. Several years ago now, though, they changed it. And as we know around college football, you can play 4 games and you keep your red shirt. And I love that rule for what it's worth. I thought that was a great decision at the time to add that because it helps with injury depth. Helps, I think, with development, get some guys in there. If you're a great team, probably early in the season, get them some run. If it's late in the season and you're not very good, they get to play in some games that feel at least like they have a little bit of meaning going into the offseason. When that rule was announced, I really, really liked it. But this would change that from 4 to 9. So you could play 3/4, if this rule passes, you could play 3/4 of the regular season and get to keep a red shirt. With a number that big, I am asking, somewhat rhetorically, but somewhat for an answer as well. Why not just go to the 5-for-5 rule. Our guy Triple G, my man Shark in the YouTube comments is saying that exact thing right here. Might as well just go to 5 years to play 5 at this rate. I agree. I fully agree. So instead of doing 5 years to play 5 years, because right now the rule is you get 5 years to play 4. We're going to do 5 years to play 4.75? What are you saving the 3 games for? To rehash, this is from a few months ago. That Mark B brings up a good point here as well. The bowl game doesn't even count for this. You can play 4 regular season games plus the bowl game. But
this is all getting too crazy.
To rehash the 5-for-5 proposal from earlier in the offseason, and this is gaining some momentum in Division II as well. I can tell you that. I know I have heard that. No more red shirts. No more injury waivers. No more a waiver for moving too close to home or not close to home. None of that. No waivers, no red shirts. You have 5 years of eligibility. You've got the regular transfer portal stuff that's in effect right now, and that's what you've got. And I at first hated it. I have turned around completely. I think that is what we should go to. There's too many reasons, too many fighting for waivers, and I should get to do this and that. No, 5 years. I think if you want to stay in college and play all 5 of those years, you could be a 5-year starter and play 60 regular season games. Go for it. Fine. No problem with that. But no more waivers, no more red shirts. Get rid of them. I honestly believe, and I've had conversations, I believe on this show before. I've talked about it with some of you guys before as well. I don't think it's smart at this point in many circumstances. They're walk-ons and other things. There are obviously exceptions to this. I don't know how smart it is to use a red shirt anymore because guys can leave whenever. What is the point of saying we're going to sit you for a year, 4-star hyper athlete who's maybe not a great football player yet, but you're a great athlete. We're going to redshirt you. You'll get a little bit of action, but we're not going to burn that. So you'll have 4 years. We're going to help you grow. We're going to help you develop. Why would you waste a year of that when that kid could say at the end of the year, hey, man, coach, thank you for all the development. Thank you for the recruiting. Thanks for all you did. Indiana is going to drop me a big fat bag, so I'm out of here. See ya. I don't believe in that redshirting is useful anymore. I really don't with how easy it is to move on like that. Again, in most cases, I'm speaking in generalities here. So I actually am against this. I am more for just go 5-for-5.
Yeah.
You get 5 years, play as many games as you can in those 5 years, and that's it. This weird split the baby thing, it's just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, there's just been too much. I think they need to come down with a ruling because this whole, I'm going to take you to court for another year of eligibility, that is crap. Just get on with your life.
But they know they're going to win. That's the thing. Because
they haven't set a finite amount of time, which they need to do, and the NCAA keeps dragging their legs on this.
But they'll lose. No, that's the problem, though. They'll lose. If they take it to court, they will lose. The only time that they've won one of these is when Tua's brother, Talia, when he was at Maryland, was like, well, I got hurt one of those years where I played some games, so I should get another red shirt for that. They lost that case because it was so flimsy. Everything else, the NCAA keeps losing. They have to let all these things happen because otherwise they just go to court and they get their butts handed to them again. It's a bad situation, which is why I'm in favor of just throwing out all waivers. No more waivers for anything because then there's no precedent for it. Well, this guy got a waiver. I should get one. No, throw them all out. Throw every single one of them in the trash. Get rid of all of them. No waivers for anybody. I think that is the way to streamline this going forward. All right, Spencer, we've got some time to get to a couple more headlines. What's next for you?
Yes, next for me, we're going to go to the NFL. Jim Harbaugh actually fired Greg Roman and the offensive line coach in Los Angeles. I did not think that was going to happen.
No,
needed to happen. Clearly,
yes.
Offensive line has sucked. Yeah, there's been some injuries, but the offensive line sucked and the offensive sucked. I still don't understand why this was a hire in the first place because Greg Roman didn't Joe fire him or John? Didn't John fire Greg Roman? Or did he leave? I
don't remember how it actually unfolded. I mean, that's their guy. I mean, Jim Harbaugh had Greg Roman as his OC at Stanford. They have been together and linked together for a long, long time. John definitely let him go. I don't know if it was a straight firing or what, but I mean, he's just the Harbaugh's guy. But you are 100% right, Spencer. Like this, it's 2026 now. We need to move on from Greg Roman in the NFL. Yeah. The play calling is stale. And I'm not going to make the Justin Herbert argument right now. He was not good the other night. He didn't have any help, but he was not good. I'm not going to make that argument right now. Trust me, not the time and space for that. But at the very least, I think it is a fair thing to say, even if you're a hater, he's very talented. He's got a lot of physical gifts. Whether he's a good quarterback or not, leave that up for debate. He's at least got physical gifts. And you're wasting it running Colin Kaepernick's offense from 2013. And what are you doing? What is this crap? It's frustrating to me, not even as a Chargers fan, as someone who covers a team in the Chargers division. I just hate bad process, and I feel like the Chargers are just made up of bad process at this point. I'm with you, though. I can't believe he actually got fired. I'm stunned that they decided to actually let him go.
So, 2023, January 19th of 2023, Greg Roman resigned from the Ravens following their loss in the wild card round against the Bengals.
Okay. Yeah. That was probably hey, you're our buddy. We don't want to fire you.
But we got to move in a different direction.
We will let you resign. Yeah. That's kind of what that sounds like. A couple other notes from the NFL to get to. I thought that was going to be the biggest news of the day in the NFL, by the way. Yeah. A couple pieces of player information here. I want to know your surprise level with this one. The Carolina Panthers are going to pick up the fifth-year option on quarterback Bryce Young. In case you are not aware of the specifics of how these contracts work, when you're a first-round pick in the NFL draft, you get a 4-year contract. Every draft pick gets a 4-year contract. First-round picks, though, have a built-in club option for a 5th year. It has to be picked up between years 3 and 4. There's a window before they play their 4th year. So you can't wait until the draft after their 4th year to pick it up. You have to pick it up before year 4. Carolina is going to pick up Bryce Young's. I like Bryce Young. I think there is still more room for him to grow in his career. I think there is also going to always be a limitation for him in the NFL because of his size. And I think even if he has a lot of intelligence traits that he can use to supplement his quarterbacking in the NFL, his balls are always going to travel at a different arc because he's got to throw them higher because he's too little. He's always going to have a harder time seeing around big offensive tackles. So you're limited with what kind of tackle play you can have. That's just always something you have to deal with. I like Bryce, but I'm surprised they picked this up. I thought they would say, let's go into year 4. If you keep showing growth, we'll act in good faith and we'll sign you to a new contract. Or they would do, you do what Green Bay did and you buy out this last year. You essentially do 2 option years kind of with minimal guarantees, but a high salary number. And you say, let's see how this goes and we'll go from there. That's what Green Bay did. And it worked out with Love. I just am surprised they're going status quo here with Bryce. I really thought they would decline it.
I mean, I think you're doing it in case he has a breakout year next year.
Protect yourself.
And you protect yourself to make sure it's not a fluke.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. No, that's totally fair.
If they build around him, get a few more pieces around him, they already, by technicality, they won their division and whatever. But if they improve next year and they get to 10, 11 wins and he's spectacular, then they got themselves an insurance policy to make sure it just wasn't a 1-year fluke.
No, I think you're spot on with that. And I think that's Dan Morgan, their GM. I think that's his approach to this as well. Also from the NFL, Dan put in his own headline for this.
He did, and I like it.
Dumbass Jordan Addison arrested again is a dumbass. If you remember before this past season, he was suspended 3 games due to a DUI. Well, he was booked again and arrested on Monday for probable cause trespassing. The alleged incident, this is from Pro Football Talk, occurred at an occupied structure or conveyance on the 5200 block of Orient Road in Tampa, Florida. He was arrested at 3:46 a.m. Eastern time. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Nothing. Never. Yeah. Never, ever, ever good. Coach Kevin O'Connell was asked about the arrest during his end-of-season press conference today. He said, I just learned about it very recently. I don't want to speculate. We got to get as many facts and find out exactly what happened as possible. Speculating at this point would be incredibly premature for me. Jordan Addison is extremely talented. I said before he got drafted, I really wanted the Chiefs to draft him. He's a little bit small, but he's got great body control, good hands. He's a good route runner. Wanted him so badly for the Chiefs. He's a moron. Like at this point, until proven otherwise, he is an idiot. An extremely talented idiot.
Yeah.
Which is a real bummer for him and the Vikings, but I don't really care about them. You want to share the one MLB headline we have for today?
Yeah, Nolan Arenado has been traded from the Cardinals to the Diamondbacks for basically nothing.
Nolan Arenado, now in his career, has been traded for the team that's trading him, first the Rockies and now the Cardinals, has combined to eat upwards of $80 million. The Cardinals are receiving right-handed pitching prospect Jack Martinez, who's never played in the minors. He's a college guy. I believe he might have played in a complex league, but he was in college this past year. And they're eating $31 million to get rid of him. Nolan, you could have waived your no-trade clause last year and gone to the Royals. Then you waited a year, you were miserable, whined all year, and now you go to the Diamondbacks. I don't really know that this is going to work out for Arizona because I'm not really sure that they are, I don't know that Arenado really has anything left. He still has 2 years left on a 9-year, $275 million contract he signed before 2019. Arizona will pay $5 million this year and $6 million next year. Their general manager said, we've always liked the way he's played the game and the impact he can have when he's not playing. I think he's a good fit. I know how much winning means to him and is important to him, and it's important to us. It's not 2019 anymore, man.
Yeah, so this Martinez guy has played a little bit in the complex league.
Okay, all right.
Not very much.
That's what I thought. I don't understand this.
Me neither.
Good for the Cardinals, I guess. They are, for the first time in 25 years or more, likely going to have a payroll under $100 million. I saw someone call them the Midwest Marlins today, which is so extremely funny. That will do it for today's 580 Sports Talk headlines. When we come back on the other side of this commercial break, though, KU plays Iowa State tonight. I have a feeling, and Spencer, we'll get your thoughts here in a moment. I have a feeling Spencer does not feel very good about this matchup. Frankly, I find it hard to blame him. We'll get his take. We'll get my take. We'll get your take on KU versus Iowa State coming up here on the other side of this commercial break. We will also play a little Ask Me Anything Random Question Tuesday later this hour. If you've got a random question for me, for Spencer, or for both of us, send it to us on the text line, 785-272-9429, or drop it in the YouTube comments for later on this hour. KU Iowa State preview up next on 580 Sports Talk. Brendan and Spencer here with you. This is 580 Sports Talk. I'm Brendan. That's Spencer. We're going to do a little Random Question Tuesday, Ask Me Anything, coming up in a little bit. So get those questions in for us. Coming up when we are done here on Sports Talk on Huntoon Hill tonight, we're going to send you out to Hayden High, Hayden Gymnasium, where the Hayden Wildcats will take on the Topeka High Trojans. JV going on right now. We will send you out when Dan is ready to Hayden for pregame coverage of 580 Preps Tuesday Night Hoops right here on 580 WIBW. KU plays Iowa State tonight. Spence, have you seen a spread for this game? I have not checked it today. I'm going to pull it up right now, though.
I have not, but I would venture to guess it's probably 5.5.
Iowa State by 5.5. That's probably fair.
Iowa State by 3.5.
3.5. Yeah, according to our friends at Prairie Band. Yeah, that's somewhere between 3 and 5. Probably fair.
I mean, I think it's really 5.5, but you give them a little bump for being at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah, you get the home court bump. You throw in the fact that it's Allen Fieldhouse. I can tell you right now, looking at the numbers from Ken Palm, on a neutral court, his numbers suggest that Iowa State is 12 points better than KU. I mean, kind of hard to argue that, right? Like that was a really bad showing in the second half by KU. The Bigs played an extremely soft game. I know you guys were talking some college hoops yesterday on the show. Like it was a very soft game up front. And we talked to Michael Swain last hour about it. I don't know where the solution comes from, I guess, with this. Like that might just be who Flory is. And right now, Bryson Tiller, that just may be the kind of player he is now. Maybe not forever, but for right now, that's just the kind of player he is. How do you supplement that? It's very obvious. You cannot, and I'm not telling you anything you don't already know looking at this roster, but you cannot survive bad stretches from Darren Peterson. Like it's just not doable. That Melvin Council performance against North Carolina State when, he had to be great. That's not going to happen every night. It isn't. And if you don't have the centerpiece of this roster, the guy who you built everything else around with the theory that, okay, it might not be the most talented group, but the pieces fit, the skill sets align, we can build, the core of this ship, the hull, the deck, that's all Darren Peterson. And the cannons and the mast and all that is all the other pieces.
Yeah.
Well, if you suddenly have a big hole in the hull, you're kind of screwed. And I'm not trying to bury Darren Peterson here because he was pretty good in the first half. He scored a bunch. He just has a lot of pressure on him. He's got to be great all the time offensively, which is why my big key for the game, Spencer, and Michael insinuated this earlier as well, defense. You have got to be as good defensively on the ball and off today as you have been this entire season. Iowa State shoots the lights out. Momchilovich, Mommy, as they call him, has been unbelievable shooting the ball. Joshua Jefferson is one of the most underrated players in college basketball at large. Like maybe not in the Big 12, maybe not for people who cover this league, who follow this league. They know how good Joshua Jefferson is, but man, he is awesome, and I don't feel like anyone is talking or talks about how good he is, how useful of a player he is. So I think you've got to be elite defensively. This game favors KU the lower scoring it is, I think. In honor of Mike Tomlin, you want to drag Iowa State deep down into the mud because Iowa State's going to defend too. Otzelberger's teams are going to defend. They're going to rough you up. I'm not trying to say that they're, some soft 7 seconds or less kind of team. They're not. But I think KU needs to make this game an ugly sludge factory of a game. If they can do that, I think it improves KU's chances. If it turns into a shootout, you better hope for 40 from DP and probably 20 for someone else. That's how I break it down.
The problem is you never know what to expect from Darren Peterson. And I don't know if I said it on the show or I said it on X, but this guy clearly wants to play, but his body is hindering him from playing.
Oh yeah. No, I do. And I know that, the conspiracy theories are out there. I believe Bill Self when he says like the work is there, the effort, the desire is there. it's his body that's failing him. I also certainly believe that his camp, his people, family, dad, whatever, are being extremely cautious because they see what his future can be in the NBA. I don't doubt any of those things. I think they can live in harmony. I think he wants to be out there. Like, the games where he plays and then isn't able to go, if he really didn't want to be out there, why would he be playing as much as he is when he can go on the court? I think there's a little bit of a breakdown there. So, all things considered, I think KU rightfully is the underdog in this game. Iowa State on a neutral court, probably way more than a 3.5-point favorite. We were talking about it earlier. You know, is this an Allen Fieldhouse game? Here's my concern with that. You just got one of those. And I know trust me, I went to school there. I covered a lot of games there. I broadcasted a lot of games there. I know how different it is. Trust me. I'm just saying you need to still find a way to execute. You can't bank on a team composed entirely of guys who have never been in that building before to just, I already said whiz down their leg once on this hour. I'll say it again. To just whiz down their leg and to throw a game away like TCU did last week. So I think Iowa State probably does win this game. I'm hopeful it's not a blowout. Got to make it ugly. Got to make it as nasty, gross, slimy, sludgy as possible.
I do hope it doesn't start on ESPN2 or ESPNU or ESPN News because Dan's favorite golf league, the TGL, goes longer tonight.
Oh, my God. Is that what's before it? Oh, my God.
I just looked. I was like, something's got to be on before it. Jupiter Links Golf Club versus New York Golf Club in the TGL starting here at 6 p.m. Central.
Oh, sweet. I'm going to get my Jupiter Links hoodie on today. I'm going to throw on my Jupiter Links hat. Oh, let's go. Come on. Like, I don't like golf in and of itself. But, like, we're playing weird arcade golf. Come on.
Hey, it's Max Homa's on the team.
Oh, I mean.
Tiger Woods' team.
Oh, well, I mean, shoot. Jupiter Links all the way, man. Max Homa, the GOAT. Stupid. Dumb. Cancel the end of that event to make sure you get KU on in time. TGL, give me a break. We owe you another commercial break. We'll come back. We'll do a little Ask Me Anything. YouTube chat's getting a little bit off the rails. I think they're talking about chili right now. We'll check in. We've got some Ask Me Anythings, some Random Question Tuesdays. For me, for Spencer, send them in. YouTube, text line. We'll get to those to wrap up this 5 o'clock hour of 580 Sports Talk. 5:49 on 580 Sports Talk. Brendan and Spencer here with you. Just around the top of the hour, we'll get you out to Hayden High School for tonight's 580 Preps Tuesday night hoops. Wow, a huge sneeze just came. Glad I got the mic off in time. That would hurt. You know when you feel it in your ribs a little bit? Ooh, man, that was a big one. All right, let's get to a quick round of Random Question Tuesday / Ask Me Anything, Spencer. Got a bunch in here from the YouTube feed. We'll get to as many as we can in the next 4.5 minutes or so. All right, from Vance, he put in a few for us. Number 1, would you rather know when you're going to die or how you're going to die? I don't really want to know either, but I think I'd say how.
I think I want to know when, so then I can do everything I want to do in life, and then then I know finite time.
Yeah, see, I don't like having a ceiling on it. Like I want to leave that, I guess, more up to chance. I'd rather know, like, oh, car accident. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to game the system. I'm going to start biking. Like I would try to do that. I'd try to weasel my way around
your
it.
house again?
Yeah, I'm going to become agoraphobic. That's what I'm going to do. Also from Vance, chili with or without beans? Without.
With beans.
Trust me, if I eat chili with beans, you are not going to want to hang out with me. I don't really like beans, period, and like I'll eat it. Like you got a good chili, but I don't love beans, generally speaking.
It's okay. We had our chili cook-off thing for our party.
Yep.
And was
here
home,
in the station, our Christmas party.
Yeah. Was home for probably about 45 minutes, and Olivia didn't even have to ask what we had here.
Yep. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah. From Mark B, what's your favorite Mexican food?
Ooh, I'm a quesadilla guy, man.
Quesadilla. What do you like to put in it? You go like very basic. What do you like to? You're making a quesadilla yourself. What's the spread here?
So I have actually I love quesadillas so much I've put them into different things. So if we're talking about Mexican quesadilla, I'm putting ground beef in it, or I'm putting ground chicken, like whatever, with a side of refried beans, some sour cream, some salsa, some chips. But sometimes I'm feeling crazy, and I make myself like a pepperoni quesadilla, or like a turkey quesadilla.
Going wild, I like it.
Yeah, or sometimes I'm just feeling that cheese quesadilla, so I just make myself a cheese quesadilla.
I saw one recently. I don't remember where we were, but we were walking through a restaurant. I saw one on someone's plate. No, I did not eat it. But I saw one. I thought, damn, that looks really good. I wish I'd ordered that. Enchiladas, chicken generally, with salsa verde, green salsa on it. Love that. That's my go-to when we go out and eat Mexican. This one's from Jeffrey. Will one of us at least sing one rock song during 580 Sports Talk Idol?
I mean,
it's the will of the people.
Yeah.
I know Jeffrey's our resident metalhead, Black Sabbath fan. Fittingly, also our resident Raiders fan. I think those things really dovetail together. It's the will of the people, except Dan's song, where we might stuff the ballot box on that one. Other questions here. Let's see if any others popped in during the commercial break. Also from Mark B, wheat or white bread?
Ooh, I'll go. I got a newfound love for wheat bread.
I like wheat bread. It's good for you. It's healthy. Got a lot of fiber in it. I need more fiber in my diet, to be honest. Maybe I need to eat more beans. I need more fiber in the diet. I like wheat bread though. Nice wheat toast.
I used to have wheat as a kid. Like that was the brand that was bought in the house. And then when I moved away, I started getting away from that brand because you've had it your whole entire life. You're like, what other kind of bread is there?
Yeah.
And then now I find myself back with the wheat bread.
If I'm making toast, white toast, I want with peanut butter. Wheat toast, I want with jelly.
Okay.
I might just be weird. I'm just exceedingly neurotic, but that's how I like to spice up my toast in the morning. Also, do we have any others that popped in? Want to make sure. Mark H had one for me. My favorite WCW NWO wrestler. Hell yeah, throwback. Now, I will say, little before my time, like I was not old enough to watch the prime of the NWO, but give me Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. Love Scott Steiner. He wasn't like the OG. That was obviously Nash, Hall, and Hogan, but yeah, give me Big Papa Pump. Love Scott Steiner. Holla if you hear me. Mark B asks Spencer in particular, who's your favorite musical act?
That's a
real
great
quick
question.
here. We got about 30 seconds.
It's a great question. I like a lot of different kinds of music. I'll say Luke Combs.
Luke Combs is a good one. Mark B also asked me my least favorite kid show. We have not, we really try not to put the TV on for the kiddo, ever. So I don't know if I have one yet. So put a pin in that one, Mark. I'll tell you, write that one down. Keep a note in your phone, whatever. Ask me that in 6 months, and I probably will have a better answer for you. All right, rapid fire, real quick. Cornbread or cinnamon rolls with chili? Cinnamon rolls with chili. Oh, God, not even close. I don't really like cornbread, to be honest with you.
Give me chili, let my stomach sit for 15, 20 minutes, and then a cinnamon roll.
Last one here from McFly. How tall are the hosts? I don't know how tall Dan is. 5'8", maybe?
Probably.
5'8"-ish, 5'9". Dan's listening as he gets ready for the game. I think that's fair. 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", something like that. What are you?
6'2".
You're taller than 6'2".
No, I'm 6'2". Maybe 6.
Aren't you taller than me?
Maybe 6'2.5".
I'm definitely 6'4", or above 6'3" anyway.
I'm 6'2".
We need to measure you. I do not believe
driver's license.
I don't believe that number. All right, Dan's 5'10". We have confirmation. Dan's 5'10". We got to get the heck out of here. We're late for a commercial break. We'll come on back, wrap up this edition of 580 Sports Talk with the final word. Under a minute to go for a quick final word. Spencer Dupuis, lead us off.
Yeah, I hate to be somber, but want to give a quick shout out to my dad. He starts his first round of this new cancer treatment today. Should actually be done right now. So, prayers up, Pops.
Yep, absolutely. Thinking about Spencer's dad, thinking about you, buddy, and the whole family. For my final word today, look, KU, I think KU can win this game. I'm not going to pick it because Iowa State is that good, but I do think KU can win. It's got to be ugly. It has got to be hideous, frankly. You do that, I think it's going to give KU a chance. Big men, that means you. Toughen up a little bit. We're out of here for 580 Sports Talk today. For Dan, for Spencer, I'm Brendan. We'll join you again coming up tomorrow at 3. After the break, we've got 580 Preps Tuesday Night Hoops.